Hi, Keisha here of New World Mind and Spirit, and thank you so much for joining me today for video number 3 in our 3-part Freedom Over Fear series. So if you're joining me here for the first time, I am a certified consulting hypnotist and intuitive consultant, and it is my goal to help you to change your life and to manifest your desires using the power of your own mind. So thank you so much for joining me today. So this Halloween season, the topic of fear is obviously in the air, and we like to have a lot of fun with fear. I love Halloween, love it so much. It is definitely one of my favorite times of the year. However, it brings up a topic that oftentimes is not so much fun. We have a ball, being afraid and screaming during this time, but throughout the year, Halloween fear can actually really get in your way and cause you to not to achieve what you want to achieve. It can be a big obstacle that really kind of holds us back. So I wanted to talk today, just to continue our discussion. If you haven't seen the first 2 parts, I definitely encourage you to check out the videos. In the first video, we talked about where fear came from and how this actually is a gift from our ancestors, and Halloween is a great time to also give thanks to our ancestors for the gifts that they've given us. Fear is one of them. It has gotten you where you are today, but there obviously is a dark side to that as well when it is not wanted. In video 2, we talked about how fear can be ingrained in us, especially at an early age, with triggering events, and how the role that imagination and discomfort kind of plays in really intensifying fear. And today, we're going to talk about some actionable steps on how to choose freedom over fear. So as we discussed previously, fear is really kind of here to stay. It is an ingrained, just ancient, primitive survival tool that is always going to come up in one form or another. Even the most brave, successful people that you can think of experience fear in one way or another. It's just something that's going to be a part of existence. Now, that being said, it is definitely something that can be managed and that can be worked with. It's all about choice. And I call this video series Freedom Over Fear, because when you make the choice to be free, to move forward and achieve your desires, and you make that choice over being afraid, that is, to me, really the key of being successful and happy with yourself. So let's talk about some things that we can do to move forward and through fear. So number 1 is to recognize fear when it happens. And, just like we often do around this time of year during Halloween, fear can masquerade. It can be in disguise. It can wear a mask. And whenever you're experiencing fear over something that it often comes with being uncomfortable, you may not necessarily feel blatantly scared at first, but oftentimes you may feel some sort of self-sabotaging event, such as procrastination, such as sort of kind of feeling all of a sudden less motivated, all of a sudden uncertain, all of a sudden very self-doubting of yourself, being angry all of a sudden, a great distraction, whenever you're feeling distracted. And whenever you just are, for whatever reason, diverting away from your original goal due to any number of reasons, just know that could actually be fear in disguise. So it's really important to watch out for that and know that actually could be you self-sabotaging yourself because you're afraid. Number 2 is, once you see yourself experiencing this, name your fear and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What is it that is truly causing me to do this? And number 1, and in doing this, number 1 is, again, you might be saying, I'm procrastinating because I am afraid. And that's great. So, and also go a step further. Actually name, what are you afraid of? For example, if you are returning to public speaking, all of a sudden feeling, a little, having all these issues that you can't make this speech, all of a sudden your head hurts, and all of a sudden this person's pissing you off, so you're not going to ask yourself, are you doing this? Are you distracting yourself and diverting because you're afraid of making this speech? And really name it and just really be honest with yourself. And once you've named that fear, like for example, saying, okay, well, I'm afraid of making the speech, and I'm afraid of making a fool of myself, I'm afraid that I'll pass out or whatever, Okay, ask, okay, well, what if that happened? What's the worst case scenario that would occur? You know, returning to the public speaking. Okay, so what if you made a fool of yourself? Okay, number one, the thing that I want you to know, first of all, is to return back to our previous video where we mentioned that your imagination often has to do more with fear than reality. And the worst case scenario is probably likely not to happen. So we're just going to get that out the way. It is likely a product of you worrying and being afraid. And so that's first and foremost. Secondly, what if the worst scenario should happen? What if you should make a fool of yourself? Well, define, what does that mean? Does that mean passing out? Okay, let's say you pass out. What would happen? Likely everyone would rush to your aid and ask if you're okay, and you know, take you to the doctor if you needed to, or take you home, and life would go on. You wouldn't die. You wouldn't, you know, nothing would really happen, and you would again continue to go on. But you know, you really have to kind of be clear and just kind of not let that situation stop you. That situation is likely not to happen, and you know, and ask at the end of the day, what would that do? And you have to just be able to willing to move past it. Okay? And also, another step I want you to think about is, instead of worrying constantly about the worst case scenario, which we're really good at doing for some reason, we tend to always go negative all the time. What about the best case scenario? Ask yourself, what is, not only is it statistically more likely to happen, but what do you want to happen? It's all about desire, right? Why don't you play, instead of the worry movie over and over of you passing out, play instead the public speaking scenario where you are hitting it out the park, where you know exactly what you want to say. You have this speech totally down, and you know it forwards and backwards, and you know your subject matter great, and you are absolutely delivering it so well. You're enjoying it, and it goes by quickly, and everyone applauds you at the end and comes up afterwards to ask, you know, how they can work with you or ask you questions about how to proceed. Embrace that. Play that movie over and over in your head. And that's a great way to be able to move past it and forward through it. Okay? And definitely reach out to me. I can help you with any of these. And, you know, as someone who is truly trained in how the conscious and subconscious mind works, I certainly can help you to achieve your desires, to bring about the changes you really want, to help you move forward past fear into where you want to be. And keep in mind, where you want to be is likely into the unknown. So push past it. You can do it. And the ability to have whatever you want lies within you. All right. So thank you so much. Definitely reach out to me if you would like to get your free hypnotic consultation. You can reach me, Keisha, at newworldtarot.org. My website's www.newworldtarot.org. And thank you so much for joining me today. And absolutely keep going forward, and don't let fear hold you back at all. And just have fun in life. Thank you so much, and take care, and be well. Bye.